Hello everyone, my name is Joshua. This is the 29th video of my video journal series. Today's date is the 9th of March 2026, and it's a very special day because it's my 20th birthday. I know. Happy birthday to me. Finally, I turned 20 years old as of recording this. I didn't really do anything, that grandiose today. I just, got to hang out with mates earlier on. I got to meet up with my mom, my brother. We cut a cake. We had some Chinese food, and that's how I kind of aim to, celebrate my future birthdays. Just keep it small scale, and just take the opportunity to hang around with all the friends, family members which you've gotten to know over the years, and just keep it chill. That's how I like to do my birthdays from now on. But no, it's a great thing to be turning 20. I know I feel a little bit old now. If you think you're old, I've lived for 20 years. That's going to sound really outdated when I view this in another 20 years' time and I'm 40 years old. But um, I remember in one of my earlier entries, I said I had 20 goals that I want to achieve in 20 years or by the time I turn 40. And I actually took some time today to write out those goals. So I'm just going to read out those goals to you. Goals that I want to achieve by the age of 40. And I'll also be making, a few predictions and, chatting to my future self or to you, the audience, in 20 years' time. Because I like this to be like a video time capsule, sort of. When I re-watch this video on any, device, wherever it be a computer, hologram, or mobile phone in 20 years, I just want to see how much has changed. But yeah, so goals for when I turn 40 by Joshua. First goal, have 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. 2. Own a home. 3. Get married and raise kids. 4. Travel to at least 20 countries. 5. Deliver a speech in front of a crowd of thousands of people live. 6. Ride a steam train. 7. Ride a London Route Master double-decker bus. 8. Go to every active train station in Australia. That is, train stations that still receive, regular passenger service. 9. Ride every single Sydney bus route. 10. Run for Parliament. 11. Make a cameo in a feature film. 12. Make a cameo in a music album. 13. Do a live comedy show. 14. Ride a 1963 Cadillac Coupe de Ville. 15. Listen to Weird Al's Albuquerque whilst in Albuquerque. 16. Ride a cable car in San Francisco. 17. Listen to Midnight Oil's Kosciuszko and King of the Mountain on Mount Kosciuszko. 18. Be fluent in a foreign language. 19. Be a world leader at a game of scissors, paper, rock. 20. To complete a video journal series over the course of 20 years. Now, that last goal is pretty much what I'm doing now, to complete a video journal series over the course of 20 years. But, those are the rest of the 19 goals. I think some of them I can do in like a year. Other ones that might take a little while to do. But, I guess when I'm watching this back in 20 years' time, I'll see how many goals I'll be able to tick off, Hopefully it's all of them, or at least the vast majority. Some goals may take me a little while, a little longer to achieve. And I guess this will be the section of the entry where I talk about my future predictions, because I have the time to do this. What will happen on, 20 years' time from when I'm recording this, or 20 years' time from the start of the video journal series. I'll do 20 years' time from, this year, no specific date, I guess. So in the year 2046, what will happen in the year 2046? I didn't write down any predictions, so I'm just going off my head. I predict that within 20 years' time, could be 20 years exactly, or even 10 years, there will be a female president of the United States. I predict in within 20 years that there will be a train line in Sydney from La Perouse to Bondi Junction. That's a weird one. It could be metro, or you know what's better? If they extend the light rail from, where is it now? Kingsford all the way to La Perouse. One of those two things will happen. Preferably the light rail option, because they already have Anzac Parade to go off. So it will be cool if they did a metro line from La Perouse all the way to Bondi Junction, and perhaps if you have like a branch that goes through Mascot and the airport, something like that will most probably happen in 20 years. I can't say for certain. Whilst we're on the topic of transport, within 20 years, there will be more Sydney Metro lines. Hopefully, there'll be one from, well, I predict in 20 years, there'll be one from Miranda all the way to Westmead, which is something I've seen a lot in proposals and leaks online. It's going to sound really outdated if that doesn't happen. At least we need like a circular, non-orbital metro loop that goes around, the entire greater Sydney region area without having to go through the city, because most of our existing train lines, as of recording this, they only really go to the city. They don't really go around the city. So I think that's something that'll be improved a lot within 20 years. 20 years. I guess if I were to lean a little bit on politics more, 20 years' time, there will be an Indigenous Australian Prime Minister. I know it may sound a little bit weird saying that, but there will be an Indigenous Australian Prime Minister, or at least a few more Indigenous people within our parliament, within our federal parliament, I reckon. Within 20 years, there will still be conflict, famine, disease. There'll still be major news events around the world on just, horrible stuff that's happening. I mean, here in 2026, we already have enough, but, I believe in the year 2046 that unfortunately these issues will still prevail, where you still have, war in the Middle East. You still have, famine in Africa. You still have, whatever North Korea is doing. You still got political division in Western democracies such as the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Australia. We still got those issues, But I believe that with the rise of technology, that people's voices will become louder and louder. There will be more political representation, but there'll also be a lot more political problems. And I guess to whoever's watching this 20 years ahead, that, don't think that the 2020s were a good or nostalgic time. They certainly won't. I believe that there will be nostalgia for the 2020s. It sounds really weird saying that, but there will be some form of nostalgia for the 2020s. But also remember that the 2020s weren't exactly the greatest decade. We still have a lot of war, famine, disease happening around the world, which is unfortunate. But if you're watching this in 20 years, then I recommend that we tackle these issues, and that instead of looking what divides us, we look to what unites us as people. We look towards the common cause of fighting climate change, or wanting a better environment for our future, or a better economy for our, our kids and the people around us and the people who we love dearly. We want better living conditions. We want better working wages. We want, a better lifestyle than what we do, what we have here in the 2020s. But I believe that in some regards, society will become more progressive. I believe that, Australia might see another female head of state, female prime minister, head of state's governor general, or king or queen, depending on who you talk to. I also believe that Australia might do another Republican referendum in 20 years' time. I'm not saying that Australia will become a republic, but I'm just saying we might have another discussion about it. Maybe another referendum or another proposal. Um, Within 20 years, what other predictions can I make? Within 20 years, well, maybe make it about myself. I really know I got my goals. See, in 20 years, I will be, well, 40 years old. But I believe that with my hard work, I will become a wealthy, or at least emotionally wealthy, not maybe financially wealthy. I will become a very, I guess, emotionally wealthy person. Someone who, I guess, lives out their day fully, does a lot of hard work, and gets rewarded for it. Be able to put smile onto millions of people's faces around the world and making people laugh, which is what I do, or what I at least enjoy doing, even though I might not be good at it. I will believe that I will be you know semi-famous in 20 years. It's hard to say how famous I will be or how well known I will be, but I believe that I will make a positive impact in 20 years. I will be a semi-influential figure. Um, I believe a little bit too optimistic, I hope, but I believe in 20 years that I will be living um, life where I am appreciative that I have um, a fan base. Hopefully, my fan base will grow quite a lot, but I'll be appreciative that I have a fan base, um, a wife, kids, and be proud of my hard work and be proud of how far I've gotten. Um, and I guess, to my future self in 20 years' time, I just want to say how things are going if I've achieved any of these goals on this list. Um, if I achieved, all my dreams and aspirations. Um, I guess if I achieved what I really want to, and I really, I guess, if I've in 20 years really settled on what I want to do in life and what sort of career path I want to pursue. Um, and I guess, just a few one-off predictions. What other predictions? Well, I guess if we're speaking about things that's happening here in Sydney, Western Sydney Airport will be open in the future. I'm pretty sure it's opening this year or next year. It's opening really soon for us here in 2026. And yeah, I'm excited to see how the new Western Sydney Airport goes. I'm excited to see what infrastructure projects happen around the state and Australia wide. In 20 years' time, hopefully we'll have high speed rail. It's going to sound really outdated if that current proposal that we have is just down the gutter. And then in 20 years' time, I'm watching this like, damn, I really wish we had Newcastle to Sydney already or Sydney to Melbourne high speed rail. But within 20 years, there will be, eventually, I guess, the operation of maglev trains in Japan. I know Japan's still developing their maglev line from, I think it's Tokyo to Nagoya, and then they're doing it from Nagoya to Osaka. That's been under construction for quite a while. It's well over a decade. Um, and yeah, I guess transportation in general become a whole lot easier. Um, you know, Expansion of high speed trains. Um, More air routes connecting remote places around the world to each other. I guess cheaper airfares, hopefully, in the future, or just I guess it'll be a lot easier to travel from one point to another. Um, what other things? I believe that I guess in terms of streaming and physical media, I believe that all of the major, or at least a few of the major streaming platforms that we have now, like Netflix, will not exist in 20 years' time. I believe that Netflix will, in its current form, will not be the same. It's either going to get absorbed by another company or dissolve completely. I believe physical media will still have some sort of prevalence in the future. It might not be as huge as it was maybe in the 2000s or right before streaming came in. but it will still have a presence for, I guess, enthusiasts and collectors like me. Um, but yeah, I believe that with streaming though, with streaming, that you know it's it's slowly going to dwindle, and I believe that people they're going to realize that physical media has a place in our society, and physical media, I believe, will truly die off. Um, and I believe in 20 years, that's I'll bring up maybe two more, then I'll end this entry because it's been a little bit too long. 2 years time, there will be. You know what? I believe there will be a civilization on Mars. I know that SpaceX is currently wanting people to go to Mars, and I'm just gonna throw this out on a limb, saying I believe that we, maybe get humans on Mars in 20 years. Not that I think it's possible, but I have to throw a prediction in there somewhere. Mars, the Moon, Pluto, Jupiter. You know what? I believe there'll be supersonic space travel in 20 years' time. That we'll be able to send a human to any planet around the world in just the speed of light in 20 years. It sounds ridiculous, me saying that, and I know it's not going to happen, but, it's just a random little thought that I had in my brain. It's like, you know what, why not do a full Jetson-style aspiration of the future, where we are able to send anyone quickly in the speed of light to any planet on Earth, and there will be intergalactic planet tours where everyone can go on a planet and see I guess, the landscape, you know. And I guess that whilst we're on the topic of supersonic space travel, I guess that there will be a plane like supersonic air travel will be the standard. There'll be another plane like Concorde, not exactly like Concorde, but there'll be a supersonic jet like Concorde. They'll be able to fly people ridiculously fast at like Mach 2 or something around the world. Yet again, I really wish for a Concorde revival, but who knows about the future of travel, if we can get humans on other planets, or if we can, transport people and just, in a flash, like maybe like near teleportation. But yeah, I guess those are my predictions. I know some of them might seem outlandish, but you never really know about the future. The future is always changing, and history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. I think that's a quote by, I don't want to say Mark Twain, because maybe is it Mark Twain quote? I know a lot of quotes are attributed to him or misattributed to him, and they're really often said by other people, but I don't know. History often repeats itself. History doesn't repeat itself, but often rhymes. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And I'm excited to see what happens in 20 years from now, in the year 2046. I guess that's all I have to say, but I guess I'll catch you later and see you next time. See you tomorrow.